Ever found yourself losing an argument and thinking, wait a minute, that didn't even make sense? Yeah, that, my friend, was a logical fallacy, an error in reasoning wrapped in a tortilla of confidence and served with a side of nonsense. These little logic gremlins love to sneak into debates, headlines, ads, and even your own thoughts. Today, we're exposing 24 of the most common fallacies and showing you how to spot them, like a mental Jedi slicing through nonsense with a lightsaber of logic. Anchoring. This is when the first thing someone learns about something influences all follow-on judgments. People tend to believe that the first statistic is the boss. We give way too much credit to the first bit of info we hear. Example: this car is $10,000 less than similar models. Yeah, but it's literally missing doors. Pro tip: don't focus on the bargain. Focus on why the bargain before you get anchored to a deceiving number. That could anchor you to a bad deal. Sunk cost fallacy. This is when people irrationally cling to things simply because they've already invested a lot. Example: I've already wasted so much, why stop now? You're 6 hours into a boring movie. You stay because you've suffered. Reality check: wasting more time doesn't refund what you already wasted. Availability heuristic. This is when judgments are influenced by what easily comes to mind. Example: shark attacks must be super common. I saw one on the news yesterday. Just because it's fresh in your brain doesn't mean it's frequent in the world. 100% of what you know about a topic may reflect less than 1% of reality. Reminder: your brain isn't Google Trends. Curse of knowledge. This happens when once you come to understand something, you presume it to be obvious to everyone. Some may think, are you kidding? Why don't you understand this incredibly niche concept that I've known since birth? Once you know something, it's hard to imagine what it's like not to. It is difficult for us to reconstruct our prior states of confusion and ignorance. The fix: stop talking like a Wikipedia page, break it down. Confirmation bias. This is when people favor things that confirm their existing beliefs. Example: I did research. I watched one video, and it agrees with me. We love finding proof that suggests we're right and ignoring any proof that shows we're not. A responsible approach: Google the opposite of what you believe, then see what holds up. Dunning-Kruger effect. This effect swings two ways. The more you know, the less confident you're likely to be, and vice versa. A common example: I watched one YouTube video, I'm basically an expert now. People who know the least often think they know the most. On the contrary, since experts are keenly aware of how much they don't know, they're more reluctant to make claims, especially with certainty. The solution: get comfy with responding, I don't know yet. It's oddly powerful. Belief bias. As long as a conclusion supports one's existing beliefs, they'll rationalize anything that supports it. This person thinks, the conclusion feels right, so who cares how we got there? We accept bad logic if the ending sounds nice. Reality: just because it smells good doesn't mean it's edible. Self-serving bias. When people believe their failures are due to external factors, yet they are solely responsible for their successes. In practice, one believes, I won because I'm awesome. I lost because the Wi-Fi was sketchy. Good stuff? That's me. Bad stuff? That's unrelated to me. To fix this, share your wins but also own your epic fails. The backfire effect. This is when some aspect of one's core beliefs is challenged, and causes the person to believe even more strongly. We've seen this when someone is clearly proven wrong, yet they cling to their position even harder. Some folks double down when corrected. Their ego will not allow them to abandon their position, regardless of its flaws. Strategy: ask questions, gently, with snacks maybe. The Barnum effect. This happens when people find personal correlations in vague statements by filling in the gaps. An example would be, this personality quiz says I'm deep, mysterious, and a natural leader. So true. Generic flattery feels oddly personal. Remember, if it applies to literally everyone, it applies to no one. Groupthink. This occurs when people allow the social dynamics of a group situation to override the best outcomes. A familiar example might be, everyone agrees, so let's not question it. When groups want harmony more than accuracy, logic takes a vacation. The solution? Appoint a devil's advocate, or just someone who likes arguing for fun. Negativity bias. This is when one allows negative things to disproportionately influence one's thinking. A typical result could be, "That comment ruined my entire day." Newsflash, no one chooses your attitude but you. Life is 10% what happens to you, and 90% how you choose to deal with it. A resolve: for every negative, find a positive, and maybe a donut. Declinism. When people remember the past as better than it was, and expect the future to be worse than it will likely be, this view could manifest as, "Everything's going downhill these days, even my cereal is worse." Nostalgic impressions are powerful, but they're not measurable metrics. Note: nostalgia isn't a reliable historian. Check facts over feelings. Framing effect. When you're unduly influenced or rather tricked by context and delivery. An example: would you rather have a burger that's 90% fat-free or 10% fat? This effect pits two ways of saying the same thing against one another, creating the illusion that one way is better than the other. A resolve. Reverse the framing and ask, is this the same story in disguise? Fundamental attribution error. This is when one judges others on their character but oneself on the situation. One may think, "Unbelievable, that guy cut me off, he's a monster." However, it's perfectly fine that I cut someone off because it was for something extremely important. People tend to blame others' character, not their context. Consider this: maybe they're not evil, just having a rough day. Halo effect. When how much you like someone or how attracted you are to them influences your other judgments of them. A typical example: they're attractive and well-dressed, so obviously they're good at everything. Judgments of certain traits in a person do not indicate qualities about them in another area. Solutions: separate the pretty face from the actual skills. Optimism bias. Some are inclined to overestimate the likelihood of positive outcomes. A common flag is, "Oh, that would never happen to me." Spoiler alert, it could. Prepare yourself, be hopeful, but also wear a helmet. Pessimism bias. Some people overestimate the likelihood of negative outcomes. You've heard such complaints: "It's all terrible and it'll never get better." Reality check. The world's not ending today. Things could immediately get better by deciding on a better attitude. The resolve: take breaks from doom scrolling. Just world hypothesis. When one's eagerness for justice makes one presume it is. We've heard, "They got what they deserved." Stop. What do you mean by that, and how did you come to that conclusion? We want the world to be fair, it isn't always. This fallacy can lead to blaming victims of crime and circumstance, which causes more injustice. Remember, context, evidence, and rationale matter a lot. In-group bias. When people unfairly favor those who belong to their group. A basic example: my team is the best because it's my team. We like our people better even when there's no good reason. How to resolve. Imagine you're the outsider. You might learn something. Placebo effect. When people believe a treatment or medicine will work even if it's fake. This is evidenced when we hear, "Awesome, this sugar pill cured my headache." Belief equals power, even when the treatment's fake. Solution: use this bias for good vibes. Just don't skip real medicine. Bystander effect. When people presume someone else will do something in an emergency situation. A typical example: "I don't believe I'm needed. Someone else will do it." More people equals less help. The resolve: be the person who steps up. It's heroic, and also pretty cool. Reactance. Some people prefer to do the opposite of what someone is trying to make them do. A common example: "Oh, now that you said I can't do it, I must do it." We hate being told what to do, even when it's right. How do we overcome this? Frame things as choices, not commands. Spotlight effect. Overestimating how much others notice how you look and act. We've all seen this form: "Oh no! Everyone noticed I wore the same shirt twice." Newsflash, they didn't. They're busy thinking about themselves. Now just relax. The spotlight is mostly in your head. And there you have it. 24 ways your brain can turn into a logic circus. Fallacies are sneaky, sticky, and sometimes just plain silly. but now you know how to spot them, dodge them, and maybe even call them out, politely. Which fallacy are you most guilty of, or find others using to make their case? Leave a comment. If you found this useful, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who definitely needs to stop asserting irrelevant points, emotional appeals, or flawed logic across the internet.